Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on July 24th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 5, 26, 36, 64, and 69. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 5 was orange, the 26 was red, the 36 was purple, the 64 was blue, and the 69 was purple. Okay, so I'm going to color these in. So again, the 5 was orange, the 26 was red, the 36 and 69 were purple, and the 64 was blue. Okay, so now I'm going to count how many colors I have. I have 2 purple, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 orange for 4 colors total. Okay, so now up here I'm going to make this 351 color code drawings I kept track of so far. Okay, and now a 4 color combination has now come up 120 times. Okay, but what I want you to focus on here is the 3 color combination. Okay, you can see that that's come up 189 times in 189 drawings, okay? So if you divide 189 into 351, you're going to see that a 3 color combination comes up more than half the time, okay? And to me, that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3 color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors and I'm going to start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, the green, the blue, and whatever's left over is purple. Okay, so what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, and that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so I'm going to start in with the red numbers here. Okay, again, it's the last 3 drawings of numbers. Okay, and the reason why that is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the 5, the 26, the 36, the 64, and the 69, and then the 19, 43, 47, 60, and 68. And then the last row was 13, 23, 32, 35, 68, which is already taken. Okay, so I'm going to make these red numbers. Okay, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 2, and 3 is 5, 2 is 7, 3 is 10, and 4 is 14. So up here I'm going to make this 14. So up here it tells me how many colors of each color I have on the game card here. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to the orange area. Okay, I'm going to start with the 7, the 9, the 26, which is already taken, the 44, the 68 is already taken. Next line down is the 4, the 8, the 23 is already taken, the 46, the 65. Next line down is the 40, 43 is already taken, 45, 50, 61. And the next line down is the 13, which is taken, the 17, the 24, the 59, and the 62. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers, and I'm going to count how many I have. So over here I got 5, and 3 is 8, 2 is 10, and 5 is 15. So I'm going to make this 15 right here, okay? So I think you understand how I do things here. So what I'm going to do, just to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. Okay, so here's the game card for July 24th, 2019. Again, you saw that there was 14 red numbers, 15 orange, turned out to be 16 green, 14 blue, and 10 purple numbers. Okay, so again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up. Okay, so that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on here. Okay, so again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers. Okay, so you can see over here that all 5 colors do come up, okay? It's come up 12 times out of 351 drawings, okay? So it comes up, but it's very rare, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on what color won't be coming up, okay? So the thing about my game is that we're all going to look at this differently, okay? So we're all going to come up with a different result, okay? But for me, I don't think any green numbers are going to come up. Okay, so if you look from here down to here, you can see that there's lots of green, okay? In fact, as I go through the history of things, you can see that green came up a lot, okay? So I'm just trying to pick what the ebb and flow is going to be. And I just think that you can see that there was no green numbers in this last drawing, and I think it's going to miss again, okay? So I don't think any green numbers are going to come up, so I'm going to eliminate them off of the game card. Okay, so let me block these out here. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the power play, okay? So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these green numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with my bet and none of these green numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize, okay? So I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers, okay? So basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups, okay? So here's group number 1, holds the numbers of 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10, of course, okay? So what I did is I like to reduce this down so you can see the whole thing. Actually, I want to update this first, okay? Sorry about that. So I'm going to start with the 5, okay? And I'm going to work my way over till I find the 5, and now I'm going to make this orange, okay? So I'm making this orange because the 5 is orange, okay? The 5 is orange because the color code said it was orange, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is find out how many groups it hit. So the 5 is in one group, the 26 is in another, the 36 is in another, and the 64 and 69 is in one group, the 60 group, okay? So there was 4 groups that got hit, okay? I'm just going to color this red. Okay, so I like to keep track of this to try to correctly guess what the next group is going to be, how many are going to hit out of this, okay? And for me, I think it's either going to be a 3 or a 5, okay? So as I go through the history of things, you can see that a 4 and a 3 come up the most, okay? Then the 5 comes up third, and then a 2 will come up like every once in a blue moon, like right here, okay? So I never seen a 1 before. I never seen all 5 white ball numbers land in one group, like 1 through 9. Haven't seen that yet, okay? So now I like to reduce things down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so again, you're going to see that I've broken things down into 7 different groups, okay? And I just want to remind you that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how you read this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings. Okay, and I like to break it down into 5 for a couple reasons. One, when I go back into the history of things, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Okay. But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, or vice versa. Okay? So, again, what I'm trying to do is correctly guess where the winning Powerball numbers won't be. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with no 60 numbers. Okay? So you can see that a 60 number has come up in the last 5, 6, 7 drawings. Okay? Now, the average is like 4, okay? 4 drawings in a row, something will come up, okay? Like right here, you can see 1, 2, 3, and then this one was a miss, okay? So the average is 4, and now this one's up to 7, so it's way above average, and I'm just hoping that another 60 number won't come up in this next drawing, okay? So I'm going to go to the game card, and I'm going to eliminate the 60 numbers off of my game card. Okay, so here's the 67 right here, the 65, the 68, the 60, the 69, and those 60 numbers as well. Okay, so I got off all the 60 numbers here. Okay, so basically what I like to say here is like Sherlock Holmes would say. Okay, it's a matter of deduction. If these blocked out numbers don't come up, then the highlighted numbers have to, okay? So when I go back to the game card here, again, if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then the 5 white winning Powerball numbers are still here left on the game card, okay? So moving on to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 3, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the 50-50 picks. Okay, so again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so let me update this here. Okay, I'm going to bring this up to 396 drawings. And basically this goes back to October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball Lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers, okay? So this last drawing here, I have an odd, even, odd. So I got 3 even numbers and 2 odds. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so I'm going to highlight what the majority was, evens, and now I'm going to make this 192. Okay, so out of 396 drawings, 192 drawings have been the majority of even numbers. 204 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers, okay? So here I like to break things down into 5 again, so it shows me that majority, okay? So as I scroll down here, you're going to see a big run of odds right here, okay? And as I work my way up, you can see that there was 2 evens, so what I think is going to happen is I think that this next drawing is going to have more even numbers than odd numbers, okay? So I'm going to write that down just to remind myself what I picked. Okay, so moving on. This is high and low. All the blue numbers are high. I'm sorry. All the numbers that are blue are considered low, even the 66, 67, and 65. Okay, so far it's been 196 to the high side, 200 to the low side. Okay, and as I look at this, what I'm going to do is here's the last 16 drawings here. Okay, you can see that there's a lot more to the low area. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that there's going to be more to the high side, okay? So the last time the high had a run was right here, okay? And I'm thinking that this is going to be here for another run right here. Okay, so I think more numbers are going to be to this high side. Okay, so when I'm looking to eliminate numbers, I'm going to be looking to this low area to get rid of numbers. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. Okay, more to the high side than the low. Okay, and then I have this left and right here. Okay, and you can see this last 16 drawings. You can see there's a lot more to the right side than the left. Okay, so I'm going to say that there's going to be more to the left side. Okay, so I'm going to write that down as well. Okay, one more is I have this red and blue area here. Okay, you can see that the blue is way behind. Okay, but this one, it's hard for me to pick. Okay, so I'm going to leave this alone. I don't have to pick at every single one of them. Okay, so one last thing that I have here is for the Powerball number itself. I do have something for it. Okay, so there's 26 red ball numbers. Okay, so in this column right here, basically I just divided them in two. Okay, so if you see a blue number, that's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. Over in this column, if you see a red number, it's odds. If you see a blue number, it's evens. Okay, so basically why I did that is now I just look at the colors. Okay, so when I see something like down here where this had a streak of red here, well, I know it's going to turn blue eventually. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. Okay, so here, you know, I see a bunch of single reds. Okay, then it doubled up right here, and then it's back to being single again. So I think it's going to be red here again. So I'm looking at a high number. Okay, so instead of looking at all 26 numbers, now I just cut that in half. I'm only looking at the high numbers, 14 to 26. Okay, and over here, I'm thinking that this is going to be red as well. Okay, so I'm going to be looking at a high odd number. So I'm only going to be looking at the 15, 17, 19, 21, 23, and 25 instead of all 26 numbers now. Okay, all right, so moving on to the next strategy. That's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all the numbers, I divided it into 4 different groups, put colors to these groups. Okay, so when the 5 white winning Powerball lands within these groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so again, the winning Powerball numbers were 5, 26, 36, 64, 69. Okay, so here's the 5 in the blue area. Okay, the 26 is in the red. The 36 is in the orange. The 64 is in the green. And the 69 is in the green. Okay, so there's 1 in the red, 1 in the blue, 1 in the orange, and 2 in the green. And when that happens, I call this a row where it hit all 4 color groups. Okay, so if there's a hit, I color the background red for hot. Okay, and if there's a miss, I color the background blue for cold. Okay, like right down here. Okay, so the strategy is to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up. I know that no zeros popped up in this last drawing, but they do pop up every now and again. Okay, so in the last drawing, okay, you can see that no blue numbers came up. Okay, so if I could have correctly guessed that no blue numbers are going to come up in that last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers. It gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball Lottery. Okay, so again, when it hits all 4 color groups like this, I call this a row. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on where I think the 0 is. Okay, so there's 15 of these option cards. Here's option card number 1. And all 15 option cards have the same colors of red, blue, orange, and green. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction, again, where I think that 0 is going to be. Okay, and I'm going to stop right here, option card number 7. Okay, I'm going to go with no green numbers, all right? So hopefully the 0 is right here. Now again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? You know, there's really no rhyme or reason why there would be a 0 somewhere, okay? But for me, I'm picking this because a 22 came up here, okay? And now it's back to 22, and I'm just hoping that it's going to repeat, okay? So I'm going to get rid of these green numbers here. So it's the 4 corners, the middle, the 34, 35, 45, 69. So you can see with this option card number 1, there's no numbers off here to the left side, okay? So basically what I want is I want this grid of 4 squares, 8 squares across and 8 squares down, okay? But that's only good for 64 numbers, and there's 69 numbers in the Powerball Lottery, okay? So what I did is I had to pair a couple of numbers up, okay? So I call it sharing the square. So this 8 shares the square with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 25 and the 65, the 58 and the 68, and the 53 and the 69, okay? So basically, if I say I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers, okay, I'm going to get rid of the 8 and the 66, the 53 and the 69, the 19 and the 67, okay? So there's more than 16 numbers. There's actually 19 numbers, and actually the 58 and 68. So there's actually 20 numbers I'm getting rid of here, okay? So let me go back to the game card and get rid of those, okay? So I'm going to get rid of the 8, the 19, 34, 35. Here's the 59. Get rid of that 58 as well. The 45, the 53 shares the square with that 69, and the 56. I'm sorry, the 32, 29, and 5 as well. Okay, so hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so I just got rid of 20 of them, and that would be great if none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on, the next one I'm going to go with is option card number, actually I was going to go with option card number 1 here. No blue numbers, okay? Now the reason why I'm taking this one is because you can see right here, if a 0 were to come up, there would be a 1 right here, just like over here, okay? Now this 1 comes up a lot, okay? So as you look down through, you can see just a bunch of 1s come up all the time, okay? In all the different option cards, okay? So with this blue one, you can see that a 1 hasn't come up in a long time. Way down here, okay? So I'm thinking that it's due to come up in this column here. So I'm going to say that no blue numbers are going to come up. Plus another thing is it just had a huge run of 31 drawings in a row, okay? So I'm expecting a couple of 0s to come up here pretty soon, okay? So I'm going to get rid of all these blue numbers right here. Okay, so hopefully none of these blue numbers will come up, because I just got rid of them, okay? So moving on to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers, okay? So much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different color groups, here I divided things into 8 different color groups, okay? So it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers, okay? Except with this, I know that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, and there's 8 different color groups here. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess where the Powerball won't be and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So I'm going to update this as well, okay? So I have 15 of these option cards, and they all use the same colors as red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow, okay? It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card, okay? So again, I'm going to update this. So again, the 5 was purple, the 26 was blue, 36 was green, 64 was yellow, and the 69 was purple. Okay, so I got a blue, a green, 2 purple, and a yellow. So down here, this is current. Okay, so I had no winning Powerball numbers in the red area, 1 in the blue, that 26, no winning Powerball numbers in the orange, 1 in the green, that 36, 2 in the purple, the 5 and the 69, no winning Powerball numbers in the brown, no winning Powerball numbers in the gray, and 1 in the yellow, that's 64. Okay, so over here, reminds me how many color groups I got hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and over here, I'm going to keep it green, okay, because that tells me that the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side, okay. So if I'm heading up here and I'm looking at this 5 for whatever reason, I know that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on what color group will not be coming up, okay? So you can see that I have blue and red and blue, okay? So what does this mean? Here I like to break things down into 5 again, so it shows me that majority, okay? So here you can see that there was 3 zeros or 3 misses, okay? So when that happens, I color the background blue for cold. The next one down, you can see that there was 3 hits out of 5, so the majority was hits, so I colored the background red for hot. Okay, so we all know the lottery is random, and to me, this is what random looks like, okay? So when I see something like this where it's been really, really hot, well, I know it's going to turn cold eventually. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction, okay? And I'm going to go with this red right here, okay? I don't think any of these red numbers are going to come up. You can see how hot things have been, okay? Especially right here. So I think the 0 is going to be right here, okay? One of the 3 zeros, okay? So I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, 1 down to the 57, and the 25 shares the square with that 65, okay? So let me get rid of that. Okay, so hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on to number 2. I'm going to go with no orange. Okay, so here's the orange, and as I work my way down, see that things got pretty hot through here. Okay, so I'm hoping that 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those orange numbers, and that's the 17 to the 24. So I'll get rid of the 20. Okay, so moving on to number 3. I'm going to go with blue. Okay, so here's the blue. You see how hot things have been here? Okay, so now I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of the 1 down to the 65 and the 38 to the 62. So I'll get rid of the 46. Hopefully that number doesn't come up. Okay. Moving on to option card number 4. No red numbers is what I'm going with. So here's the red. You can see that things were pretty hot down through here. So I hope that's a 0 will be right here. And that's the 5 and the 33. So I'll get rid of that 36. Okay, so moving on to option card number 5. I'm going to go with no red again. So here's the red. So it's kind of like 50-50 through here, but I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these red numbers right here off of my game card. So hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on to number 6. I'm going to go with no orange. So here's the orange. See that things have been pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping the 0 will be right here. I'm going to go with the 5, 14, 21, 30 all the way down. I'll get rid of that 37. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Okay, off to number 7. I'm going with no red. So you can see this big streak right here, okay? So I'm kind of thinking that there's going to be a big streak of blue. So I'm hoping the 0 will be right here. And that's the 65, 18, 27, 20 all the way across. So there's nothing to get rid of here, okay? So here's the thing with this. When there's nothing to get rid of, I'm going to not pick from this option card 7 again, okay? Because the reason why is because on average, for all 15 option cards, out of these 8 color groups, on average again, 4 of these color groups are going to have a 0 to it, or a miss, and 4 of these color groups are going to have a hit. Excuse me, sorry about that. Okay, so the thing is that if I'm correct with my pick, and none of these red numbers come up here in the option card number 7, and I go back for another pick, my odds go way, way up that I'm going to get it wrong, okay? So I'm going to move on to the next option card where I have that 50-50 chance again, okay? So here, option card number 8, I'm going to go with the orange, okay? I'm hoping that the 0 will be right here. And I'm going to get rid of the 7, 14, 23, 30 all the way down. Okay, so moving on to option card number 9. I'm going to go with no blue. Okay, so here's the blue. You can see it had a huge run here. Okay, so now I'm thinking the 0 is going to be right here. So it's a 227 pattern to the left side and 1621 on the right. And there's nothing to get rid of. Okay, so moving on to 10. I'm going to go with blue again. So here's the blue. So it's been kind of like 50-50 through here, and I'm hoping the 0 will be right here. So the pattern of 267 in all 4 squares. So I'll get rid of that 51. Okay, so moving on, option card number, 11. I am going to go with orange, okay? So here's the orange. You can see how hot this orange has been, okay? So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And that's the 66, 67, 33, and 54. Okay, there's nothing to get rid of, so I'm moving on to 12. And 12, I couldn't make a decision, so I'm going to leave that one alone, and I'm going to move on to 13. Okay, you don't have to pick at every single one of them, okay? So 13, I'm going with orange. Okay, so it's been kind of like 50-50 here, okay? So I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And that's the 41 and 13. So I'll get rid of that 44. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Okay, the next one is orange again for this 14. So here's the orange area. Okay, so you can see how hot things have been up here. So maybe it's going to cool down here, okay? So I'm hoping that the 0 will be right here. And I'm going to get rid of the 4, 16, 20, 32. Then down here was the 33, 45, 49, 61. Okay. So one last one. This is my last option card. Is option card 15. And I'm going to go with orange again. Okay. So you see how hot things have been here. So hopefully it will stay cool down here. Okay. And this runs from the 1 down to the 64. So I'm going to get rid of that 28. Okay, so I'm going to go with the 40, the 43, the 47, the 50, and the 52. Okay, so I thought there was going to be more evens than odds, so the 40, 50, and 52 will make that happen. More to the high side, you can see all 5 numbers are to the high, and more to the left, the 43, 50, and 52 will make that happen. Okay, so again, I like to go back to the Sherlock Holmes thing. Okay, it's a matter of deduction. Okay, again, if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then the highlighted numbers have to, okay? And hopefully it will be the 26, 43, 46, 47, and that's not the ones that I picked, huh? Oh, sorry about that. But let me go back to my game card here. Sorry about that, folks. Hopefully it will be these numbers here, okay? The 40, 43, 47, 50, and 52, okay? So, what are the odds that I made all the correct picks here? So, let me go over the odds real quick, okay? So, the odds of getting all 5 white ball numbers and the red ball, okay, grand prize, 1 in 292 million, okay? My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct, and what I mean by that is the game is geared up to picking out groups of numbers on the white ball, okay? The odds of that are 1 in 11,688,000, okay? So pretty astronomical, okay? A really nice prize would be 4 white balls and a red ball that pays 50,000 plus the power play, okay? The odds of that are just about 1 in a million, okay? And then a $100 prize is 4 white balls. $7 prize is 3 white balls. Okay, a $4 prize is the Powerball number. Okay, so you can see the odds are pretty astronomical. Okay, so I just want to let you know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week. That equals you would spend $312 per year on a lottery. Okay, so in closing, I just want to thank you for watching, okay? If you'd like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball, okay? And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.